Okay, hello everybody. There's no one in the chat, but anybody who's watching the video after the fact, hello and welcome. My name is Kevin, and we are live building my SN app Snap card game on ServiceNow. I'm joined by Fake Earl Rubber Duque. So Fake Earl up there is one of the developer advocates. He's not actually here, that's just a loop of him, video of him just sort of like nodding along and occasionally saying stuff. He's my emotional support developer advocate here on the stream. So anyway, welcome. Just to catch you up on where we are, so I have my ServiceNow Snap game built on ServiceNow. I'm just reapplying all the changes from source at the moment because I went through and just deleted a whole bunch of tables instead of deleting the records. So in preparation of having like a nice fresh clean slate, I accidentally deleted all the data. So we're starting from scratch on the app. Also, you can see there I have a tiny URL just up yonder to register and play for the Snap game. It's just effectively a tiny URL link to my my PDI, which is where the game is currently hosted. So if you are interested in live testing this thing whilst it's being built, feel free to jump in there and do so. Okay, so we'll just wait for these changes to apply from source. I'm just gonna pump up that music a little bit because it's a little bit too low for me. There we go. Just some thinking music, given I don't have anyone in chat. Okay, cool. So we have restored from source. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test that it still actually works. So we have our registration form here. Now today I'm looking for some new characters to use as my sample users. So ChatGPT has suggested that maybe the Matrix is a good one, but I think maybe not. I think we'll do Harry Potter. Please. So hopefully their names are not too difficult to spell and get right. Harry Potter is a good one. Let's start with Harry Potter. Harry Potter. hp.com. I find that amusing, and password is going to be like basically the same. So we'll create our player, we'll create our password, log in. Okie dokes. Alright, so we are into the deck builder. So one of the first things that I'm going to do effectively with this entire thing is I want to do away with this landing page altogether and send you straight to the deck builder page. So that's one of the first things we're probably going to do in the build. So, but once we've tested that it's still kind of working, we'll launch deck builder. We go into the deck editor. Here we go. So, like, since the last stream, I've been doing a lot of stuff with look and feel, with graphics and things like that. So I've discovered that you can add background graphics to parent components, and I figured out what was going wrong. I've tried to do that in the past, but like I gave up because I had to do gameplay. But I've since been able to get this thing to actually work. So there's another thing I'll need to do. I'll need to fix this button appearing before a deck has been created as well, because that's no bueno. So let's add that one to the list as well. Fix the deck selector showing a deck button without a deck. So I'm going to add that one in. I'll put that one sort of closer to the top, I think, because that's an important thing. Deck selector logo, less important. It's look and feel stuff. That one I think would be good. Yeah, cool. Alright, so this is our effectively our Trello board, so we're tracking all the work that we're going to be doing. Okay, so back to the deck builder, or deck selector. So Harry Potter's going to create a deck, so deck. Go deck. Hopefully this audio is not too loud. Just drop it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so here's the deck builder. That's interesting, we have a tiling problem on the back there, so let's fix that as well. On deck builder, there is a tiling issue with the background image. Needs to fill the whole screen. Low priority, but we've got it there. Okay, so okay, cool. So one of the things that's also on the list here is to put like blank card placeholders effectively in these slots. So right now we have, the slots have these little sort of background CSS elements there. So what I want to do is want to have them like effectively be the back of the card, which you'll see a little bit later on. I have an image for like basically a placeholder, and I want to do that throughout the whole thing. So I have a card for that throughout like the whole game effectively. So let's start adding some cards. Here's another thing I'd love to fix is on the deck builder modal pop-up. I want to try and get rid of these white lines. So deck builder card modal has white lines around the card elements. QX, jump back in. But either way, it like functionally it kind of works at the moment. So I'm going to add to deck. Fred, add to deck. I'm effectively just going to add all of these guys. And one more. Mega power. I'm going to dismiss all of those guys. Here's another thing I want to fix. I want to try and figure out what to do about this white bar up here, which is part of the header. So ideally either I style it so that it doesn't exist and I keep the current app shell that I'm using, which is the portal app shell in UI Builder, or I try and see if it's possible to migrate the entire game to a custom app shell that has no header. See if I can just migrate the pages without affecting anything, or without having to rebuild anything to fit within the new app shell. I might have to. That might take some hacking. I don't know, but we will see. So we're going to go back to the deck list. So we can now see he's got his first deck there. And if I create another deck, Harry 2, create deck. We get a new deck, and we'll go from the bottom instead. Fladvicado. Whoops. Let's go Duke. Professor, Earl, Ironchuck. Don't like that it jumps around there. Maybe that's a nice to have for the future. Let's pop that on the Trello board. Deck selector. Randoms, we've got Toulsons, Fred, Lauren, Lickerbot, Jason, Goran, and my favourite, JellyScript. Okay, so we've got a second deck. Theoretically we should have had a second deck. Where's the second deck? Let's refresh. There it is, Harry 2. Refresh and alignment there. The other one, it was alignment. Join games, buttons aren't aligned. Cool. so we can't start this game because we don't have 2 players. In fact, I can demonstrate one of the features that we built last time, which was the matchmaking timeout. So if I start the game with the first deck, it goes into wait. While we're waiting for that to time out, what I might do is I might grab where's my Brave? Let's go do an incognito window in Brave as well. We'll go to tinyurl. Whoops. I need the tinyurl. tinyurl.com snap P game. And we'll do Ron Weasley. Ron Weasley. Ron at hp.com. That can be the password as well, because we are nothing if not secure around here on the Snap game. Cool, and Ron's going to go into Deck Builder now. Ron, he's going to create a new deck. Ron's deck. So that's interesting. That timeout is not happening super quick. So let's pop a thing in to debug the timeout. Debug match. Make a timeout. Morning, Jerry. Morning, Now Exchange 360. It's a mouthful of a name. What I'm doing at the moment, morning everybody. So what I'm doing is, just a recap, I have managed to get the game effectively playable as of like last week. So Jerry, I think you left me, and I spent another hour or so, maybe 2, getting the game playable multiplayer properly. So getting all the matchmaking, all of the ACLs that we required to actually have the game play. And it is now playable 2 players. So a couple of things. Above me in the thing, there's a tiny URL of my PDI basically. If you go there, you should be able to register. You should be able to deck build, which is what I'm doing right now with Ron Weasley and Harry Potter. And you should be able to start games amongst each other. So just to go through that whole process again. So if I go to back to list, once you've registered and logged in, you'll get a screen like this. There'll be a button here that says start game with a deck, but it won't have a deck. So that will fail. So you have to create a deck first. That's a bug that we'll have to fix at some point. I'm currently editing a deck for Ron Weasley. And I'm also noting that like the matchmaker didn't fail for Harry, so there's a bug I need to hunt down for the matchmaker, and I want to do that just probably before I kick into any sort of gameplay UI modifications. Did I add Fred already? I don't know. I might just make Ron full screen here just so I can see everything he's got. He's already got Liquorbot, so that's not going to work. Somebody pointed out to me the other day, CJ is confusing because there are, in the ServiceNow realm, in the ServiceNow cinematic universe, there are 2 CJs. There's CJ Desai, who is no longer with the company, and there's also CJ Wesley, Corey Wesley. Jerry, you're creating a deck, good on you. So I guess this is the good CJ, Corey Wesley from CJ and the Duke. If you haven't listened to CJ and the Duke podcast with Corey and Rob Fedoruk, then what are you doing in the ecosystem? You must listen to CJ and the Duke. So both of those guys, CJ and the Duke, have cards here. And really lovely people. I've met them both. What do we need? Do we need 9 Chuck? Have we got 9 Chuck? There we go. It'd be kind of cool to eliminate cards that you already have, like, or do something to indicate that a card's already there. Anyway, alright, so now Ron's got his deck. We have Harry waiting, so Harry's still got this modal. One thing I want to check, I'm just going to jump into Flow Designer, because I'm interested to see, FD, I'm interested to see if Flow Designer, like if that that event, that flow for the user join, for Harry joining, has actually been timed out successfully, because it should have gone into a timeout state. And maybe it's gone. Maybe the flow itself is cancelled, but the UI didn't find out about it, so the record watches aren't working properly or something. So let's have a look. I see you, Jerry. Look at you doing all this stuff. You've modified your deck. Excellent. So I'm interested in not the Ron stuff. I'm interested in the Harry and HP. Match event created. Alright, here we go. So he's created a matchmaking event. He's looked for player 2. And he's abandoned his record. So I think he's successfully canned out, right? Like, so he's successfully failed. The matchmaking queue record has successfully failed. We just don't know about it in the matchmaking UI, because that ideally we want that UI to notify him that it's timed out, and that he shouldn't be playing anymore. So what do we need? We need effectively for the act of his matchmaking queue failing to be the thing that knocks out the you're waiting for another player, Jerry. Okay, cool. So we want that. I will let you time out, and you might need to refresh your screen, but I want to solve this problem where the failure reflects on the UI. So we're going to do some UI work. So I want to go into UIB. I think now Exchange 360 has left the chat, so I think you're the only person here, Jerry. So I don't think anyone else will try and matchmake with you. So I expect your matchmaking will fail, but it'll fail without telling you. And I want to tell you. I want you to know that your matchmaking has failed. So that's what we're testing for right now. So what do I want? I want Dex to edit. It is 24 past 9 in the morning here. Okay, so what have we got? We've got alright, so what have we done? We've done the create deck modal. Waiting for game modal is what we want. And we possibly want, let's duplicate that, and we're going to have a matchmaking timeout. So we'll apply that. Matchmaking timeout, and we'll change this text. Match timed out. Match timeout. People know what that means, I'm assuming. Match timeout, and we want to change the button to return to deck selector. Okay, I think that's okay. Return to deck selector. That's okay. All right, so we now have a different modal. So we want for, what have we got for data resource wise? We've got a cancel queue. That's the cancel queue. That's a data resource. What do we have? Watch event for queue. Watch queue for game instance. I think we can. What have we got in this? This ID is matchmaking event. Okay, cool. So I can do something funky here. So I can I duplicate that? No. Okay, cool. So I'm going to add a new data resource, a watcher, and I'm going to effectively replicate this watcher, but I'm going to replicate it with a different filter. So my filter is going to be watching for the cancel event. So it's going to be Earl agrees. So we're going to record watch, and we are going to watch the immediately, and we're going to watch the matchmaking queue event, and we're going to go. What was it in the other one? I want to rename this. Rename it. Watch for abandoned match and match. Apply. Or was it queue? Is it what I'm watching the queue? I'm watching the queue. Matchmaking queue. Okay, and I want that to be SysID is state matchmaking queue. Cool. So we've got it captured in a state parameter, so we just want to watch that same state parameter. So we want to go SysID is, and we want to bind that to a client state parameter of matchmaking queue. Yes. And state status is what do I want? Status is go away. It's not what I want. Is status. Okay, so I have this problem. Oh, there we go. Okay, abandoned. Cool. And then on that event, we want to modal. We want to do two modals. We want on message received. Continue. We want modal. Open or close modal. Continue. And we want to always trigger that on the waiting for game modal. And we want to close that modal, close it, add, and then we also want to open the new modal. Open the new modal, continue, and we want to matchmaking timeout, open that modal. Okay, and I think I also want to make that a subscription. I think this is mandatory. I think you have to do this in order for it to work, subscribe or unsubscribe to A and B channels. So I think that's what makes the watcher watch. Oh, we've got a new viewer. Hello, somebody in the chat. If you would like, you can register for the game up here. So we're at this point where it's playable multiplayer. So Jerry, who's in the chat, is trying some matchmaking. We're just debugging a problem with the matchmaking queue where if it times out, it doesn't cancel. So we will be timing out at some point very shortly to prove that a timeout works and that it will cancel the UI. But you are welcome to start registering. You can jump onto that URL, the tiny URL up there. You can register as a user, and you can log in, and you should be able to create a deck using the Create a Deck button here. And once you've got a deck, you should be able to effectively start a game with that deck. And if two people start at the same time, then you will be able to play the game, which is very exciting. You will be if you were to do that now, you would be the first players other than myself who have actually played the game. So you would be like literally first beta testers for the game, which is pretty exciting. Okay, so we've got match timed out, we've got return to deck selector. I do want to just double check this because it's going to have a, yeah, it's got the wrong modal that it needs to kill. It kills the matchmaking event, which is fine. It kills the game instance, which is fine. And it cancels the queue record. Probably not necessary. What are we doing there? We're setting it to abandon. That's not necessary because we've already abandoned it at this point. So I can clobber that. That's unnecessary. The record's already there. All right, our other viewer's gone, Jerry. I'm sorry you don't get a playmate today. Okay, I'm gonna save that. All right, so without doing anything, Jerry, I think your session is effectively abandoned at the moment anyway. I'm just gonna refresh. Who's this? Harry Potter's session. I'm gonna start Harry Potter's game again. We will wait for a timeout. If you join, that'll start the game. But I'm testing the timeout, so hopefully you don't start the game. Let's have a look. And let's see what's happening in Flow Designer. Where's Flow Designer? Is Flow Designer open in its own window? Let's start another Flow Designer session. Oh, it's here. I'm an idiot. Okay. So we have. Did somebody start the game? Deal hands. Ah. You started the game, Jerry. Oh, now it's busted. Oh, no, it's super busted. Oh, no, it's loading, it's loading. Here we go. Okay, Jerry, we're in a game. This is Jerry and I playing against one another. Yeah, so you've started the game. That's okay. We'll test the timeout in a second. So we hopefully I've got the timeout problem solved. In fact, what I might just really quickly do before we proceed with anything, I'm just gonna get Ron to start a game. No, you haven't broken it, Jerry. That's working as expected. So we've jumped into the game now. You should have got the proceed button, and you should have been able to click through into the game. Just confirm that you're in the game itself now, and it's loaded all of the cards. What are you seeing on the screen right now? Are you seeing this, which is the game layout, the gameplay layout, or are you seeing are you still on the deck selector interface? Just while I wait for that answer, I'm just gonna jump in here, and I'm looking for. You're still seeing the waiting for other player. Okay, so what it should have done is it should have picked up that the game had started when we were connected effectively. When you connected, it should have changed the button to proceed to game, so it goes from red to green. On the deck list, you should have the modal still open, that modal screen, the modal pop up. We can do it again. I just want to, before we do though, I want to just check the timeout. So I'm gonna check Harry Potter's. You've done the match event create, so that's cool. Match event create. Harry created the match event. I think that's Harry. Yeah, so Harry initiates the first session, so he starts the wait. It goes into a lookup. Oh, actually, no, what I'm looking for is Ron doing the same thing. So I want show matching. Ron trying to do the same thing. So let's try that. So Ron's going to start the game. He's going to go into a waiting state. We will refresh this, and we should see Ron go into a wait state. So Jerry, try not to join. So we're in waiting. So this should wait for 60 seconds. And what we're expecting is for this to go into a cancel state, basically. Flow Designer over here so I can watch. So at 2:35 and 45 seconds. Oh, we're in a game again? I think we're in a game again. So what's happened there is it's gone to proceed to game. So it's gone green, which means that there's a game that's started. If I click through onto that, it is Ron versus Jerry. So Jerry, you've started another game, I think. Which is okay, which is fine. I'm gonna jump over to Harry now. I'll jump over to Harry and I'll try and get it. I'll try and get a timeout with Harry. You can see the button now. Click through. We can play the game between Ron and Jerry. So here's me being Ron. Here's you being Jerry. And I'll just wait for Ron's failure to come through. Or Harry's failure now. I'm waiting for Harry to time out, and then I'll join the game. So I just do want to see this UI thing fail. So 14:37 and 1 second. So I'm waiting for minutes to tick over. Minute to tick over to 9:37. Should happen any minute now. 9:37. So theoretically, that should have cancelled out now. Oh no, it's still going. We're still in a waiting state. I wonder what the time of the instance is. My local machine says that it's now 37. There we go. It's timed out. So timeout works. Fantastic. So yeah, I do want to time a countdown. I've just got to figure out how to implement something like that. Yeah, I definitely want that. That's one of my. It's a nice to have feature in my backlog. So yeah, absolutely, I agree that that's a great suggestion. But we got the timeout working, so we can cancel a match. Return to deck selector, and I theoretically should be able to do that again. But we're good. Okay, so let me jump back into the game. So Jerry, you've been in this game for a while. Have you made a move? We shall find out. So effectively the game waits until both players click end turn. So if you've played your card already or ended your turn already, it'll go into a wait state, waiting for the other player. So I'm going to check and see if there's anything I can play. So Toulson's, I can't play it. I have no power to play that. Professor costs 5, I can only afford 1. So Witch Doctor costs 2, I can only afford. So I can't play anything in the first round. I don't have, like, I start with 1 energy in the first round. I have nothing that costs one energy, so I can't play anything. So I'm going to hit end turn. Now, if Jerry has also hit end turn, and we've got an animation now, so you've got the thinking animation. So if Jerry hits end turn now on his game, theoretically things should happen. It starts thinking in the background, and theoretically this modal should be removed as soon as the game is caught up, and it will move us to turn number 2. So you can see now we're in turn number 2. We now have 2 energy and we have an extra card, and it looks like Jerry hasn't played anything. I'm assuming that that's not bugged out because I did mess with that recently, but Jerry hasn't played anything, so we can't see anything new. Theoretically, something has gone wrong here. Theoretically, the employee center should have refreshed. So I'm just going to hit refresh on this screen. Okay, so that bugged out a little bit there. Theoretically, it should refresh. We'll watch that for the next playthrough. I think that might be a bug. Jerry, did you have the second employee center slot there exposed to you? If you did, then that's good. That means that it was only my screen that didn't refresh and not yours. You got employee center without a refresh. Cool. Okay, good. So it's just me then. We'll watch for that bug because that's not great. It means the record watch is not working quite as well as I had hoped. Yeah, cool. All right, cool. So now we've got I've got a 2 cost card here, so I can play Mark Stanger's card. Give every card in your deck +1 power. I'm not sure if that effect will work, but I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that to the integration hub location. So now it's put it in the integration hub location. After turn 3, destroy. So these don't work yet. So the card behaviors for the locations don't work yet. Some of these card behaviors work. I haven't kind of finished everything yet, but some of these card behaviors should work. So let's see. I'm going to end turn number 2. Yeah, are you talking about on the modal, Jerry? If you click on the modal, when it opens up the card, it's hard to see the costs. Because yeah, it could be. This is like the next phase of working on the game, right? Is making the UI actually useful, like making things bigger and smaller and things like that. So there's a few things I want to do. I want to put I want to see if I can speed up the card load. So when you're loading all the cards for the first time, it like caches it and everything, and it's very slow to load. So what I want to do is I want to have a thumbnail version of the card, which is much smaller, so that they load quicker, as well as the larger card that pops up on the modal. And yeah, getting the size of the card on the modal, I want to get that like better, easier to read. So theoretically, Jerry, so you've ended your turn, right? So I'm waiting for my turn to end on my side. Has yours finished yet? So we might be... I can look at it on the back end, so let's have a look. Let's bring Flow Designer back over. So theoretically, I should be able to see this game. So let's go for the game instance. Just double check. Oh, okay, it's finished. So it was running flows and it's now finished. So we're on our 3rd turn. We've got CMS here, and we've got new cards, and we've got 3 energy. So 3 energy gives me access to the Toolsons. The Professor is worth 5, so I can't play him yet. Witch Doctor is worth 2. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about this UI. I'm thinking maybe I make the card big on the side and then put the... I mean, I guess all the text is there, right? The costs and the text is there, so I probably don't actually need that. Maybe I could get by with just the card description itself. Probably not good for like accessibility for people who like use screen readers and things like that. Or the other thing I might be able to do is put the card on the left-hand side, and then put the cost and power there, just to make it a little bit bigger. I'm not sure. I'll have a think about that UI-wise, but like it works. That's bare minimum viable product. I'm going to play him to location 2. Is he a 1? No, so I've got nothing else I can play. I don't have enough energy to play, so I'm going to end the turn. So theoretic, there we go, ended the turn nice and quick, that one. Okay, so I can see you've played Mark Stanger in position, whatever that position is. I have to scroll for the close, that's annoying. Mark's gone into location 1, you've got Fred and JellyScript in location 2. Okay, something is wrong there, because your score... The scores are inverted, I think. I think the scores are inverted, and I think the scores are inverted across the board. So that's something I will have to fix. So you can see how 2, 3, and 0, 2, 3, and 0, and then you've got 5, and I've got, yeah. So the scores are inverted. So theoretically, so this is another UI thing I want to fix. I want to get the scores, like the location scores, being a little bit more obvious. Maybe move them down onto here or something like that. But yeah, they're clearly inverted here, so let's add that to the Trello board as a thing to fix. Gameplay, fix inverted scores on the player UIB page. That's probably an important one. So maybe we will fix that right now. So I will jump into the player screen. There's the player view. I'll go into editor mode. Now, I guess, question for you, Jerry. When you're looking at the play space, are you seeing the numbers inverted? Like, are you seeing my numbers on the bottom and your numbers on the top? I'm assuming that's the case, because originally this was a copy of the original. Like, I had a debug screen where both players were visible at the same time, and like top was always player 1, bottom was always player 2. But when I was refactoring it, I made it so that top was the opponent, whoever was not you, and the bottom was you. And so, like, not all of I wouldn't have I possibly missed some transposition things when I was rebuilding the page. But anyway, let's have a look. Let's see how it's actually built. So we don't care about modals. We don't care about game state. We don't care about selected cards. We care about what's in the location zones. So I'm just going to like minimize everything just so that I can find my way around. Here's my hierarchy. There's lots of different bits to the hierarchy. I see someone else has joined. If you've joined, you can register to play Snap at that tiny URL. So Jerry's is correct, but mine is wrong. So it must be hard-coded instead of dynamic. Okay, let's have a look. Anyway, so let's have a look at location 1. That's probably the best place to start. So we have the opponent repeater, we have the card, and we have the player. One thing I'm going to do just to make this better is I'm going to grab the specific match. Let's refresh that guy. Oh, actually, no, that's not useful to me. I'm going to go into Studio, and I'm going to go into Game Instance, and I'm going to go into the list. And I'm going to set my debug values here, my test values. So I need a better game instance. I'm going to grab, I think this is our game instance. That's our game instance. Ron versus Jerry. And I'm going to grab that sysID. And I put that into the game instance here so that we're going to be like debugging against that game instance. And the player session, I'm going to grab Ron's my player session because that's the one that I'm looking at. And I'm going to put that into player session and I'll apply. And theoretically, hopefully, it fixes up the view because now we have real player sessions and real game instances in this test view. Will there be a timer for the opponent's end of turn? The actual Marvel Snap game, I don't think it has a timer. Like, I don't think it times out. I don't mind the idea of a timeout. Like, you know, Magic the Gathering does that. If you don't make a selection in an appropriate amount of time, it times out without playing any cards. Could do that. We'll chuck that on the Trello board. Because if we're doing a timeout for the matchmaking, it's probably a very similar mechanic to do it for gameplay as well. Add a timeout for gameplay. Also, like, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this. Like, I think I have kind of 2 more sessions or 1 more session to go, so there will be features that don't make it in. I think I'll make the Trello board public and maybe allow pull requests and stuff to the repo, so if people want to work on this themselves, enhance the game themselves, then I think I'll allow it. Maybe. I think that sounds fun. Alright, what are we doing? I'm gonna jump back out. That's Harry. I need to find Studio, Debug Play Space. That's annoying. It's not loading. Why for are you not loading? Apply. Ugh, okay. Alright. I'm gonna reload that again. So I'm not. That's not great. It wouldn't load the UI builder with the new records, the game instance files, and the game instance in the player sessions. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna set this game instance to that game instance, and I'm gonna maybe I'll grab Jerry's one instead this time. SysID, play space, bang, bang. Please load. Okay, it doesn't seem happy with that. Alright, I'm just gonna ignore that because like it's not quite rendering exactly what I wanted. Like it's rendering something wrong with the data resource there. It's pulling in all of the cards. I don't want it to do that. Like it's not finding the specific game cards You can see that that's nasty, that's messy. It might have to do with the data that's in the, like the card instance records that are in the it's curious. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But this is the UIB view, so UIB view doesn't quite render the same as like actually, you know, gameplay playable stuff. So that's fine. Fine for now. Let's have a look at the location zone. Okay, so let's, for example, look at the first location. So we have our repeater for the opponent cards. There we go. We have the location card container. We have the player repeater. So okay, so this is what we're interested in. We're interested in this middle one here, which has the scores on both sides, and it has the card in the middle. In fact, you can see it's rendering the scores. 2, 3, 2. It's rendering some scores from something. It's found a game instance somewhere. It just doesn't know which. So okay, so I've got opponent score, and I've got level 1, location 1 player score. So opponent score and player score, and we need this probably. If we crack open this for each of the locations, we can compare them and make sure that they're all aligned. So opponent score there, opponent score there, opponent score there. So it's labeled correctly. We're trying to look at the opponent's score. We're not looking at our local score, but how it's mapped, maybe that's wrong. So the label says that. This says, yeah, it says player 1 score. So it's hard-coded to player 1. And this one is hard-coded to player 2. Now, how did I do this? This is the question. Because at some point I put in place a dynamic selector, basically. Get location 1 dot result dot player 2 score. Oh, this is tricky. This is tricky. Because I have a lot of things. I have a lot of, you can see a lot of data resources here. So if I pull this up, I have a lot of data resources here, and there is some sort of clever way that I managed to get, you know, lookups on, am I this rec user or am I that rec user? How did I do it? Let's have a look at the player repeater. So if I go, in fact, player hand's probably useful. How did I do that? So I've got my player hand details, player hand label, current player. Yeah, okay, so AM ServiceNow developer. There is, in fact, maybe I'll fix that shortly. So you don't want to start the game. The debug screen is going to be replaced soon. What I want you to do is to create a deck or select a deck. There's a deck builder icon on the landing page. That's the one that you want to go into, because we're going to basically launch all games from the deck builder, the deck selector now. So create a game. Yeah, that will go away very shortly. That's one of the things on the list to do today. But yeah, I will fix that very soon, because that's one of the player experience things that needs to be fixed very soon. Right now I'm fixing scoring, and then I think maybe we'll move on to that one next, so that playing is easier. Okay, so I have my label, I have my player name. How am I going to get current player session result short description? Okay, so I have a data resource which is get player session, get current player session. Get current player session, yep, and there must be a get opponent session. Yeah, there's a get opponent session. Okay, cool. So hopefully the player sessions contain the score as well. They don't. Okay. That's a bit annoying. Current turn, current enemy. Turns, locations. Do I have in here somewhere, do I have the score? I must do. Oh, why is that not working anymore? Interesting. I just want to view the XML. So I'm going to show XML. Let's bring that over. No, it doesn't have current player score. Where was current player score coming from? Let's check this guy. Opponent score. Location 1. Oh, it's in the location record. Makes sense. That actually makes sense. That's tricky then, because I don't have a version of a file. Hi Shaquille, welcome. Thank you for joining. So okay, so maybe Cherry, do you want to maybe abandon the game that you've been playing, and maybe start a new one so that you can match up with Shaquille, because you guys can play while I'm debugging this if you want. That would work. Player 1 score, player 2 score. Thanks, Jerry. I think that'd be cool. And you report bugs in the chat if you find them. Or enhancements if you can think of them as well. Like if there's UI things that aren't quite right, describe them to me and I can sort you out. Okay, I think. Do you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm going to, because I'm the whole premise of this thing is to avoid code, right? So everything is no code, everything is data resources and Flow Designer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some new fields to the player sessions, and I'm going to have location scores and just synchronize them across. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I will go into my player sessions, and I will just create fields for location 1 score, location 2 score, location 3 score, because being session aware is a lot easier for me than being session aware is a lot easier for me than being location aware and being able to pull it back, because the sessions are dynamic, the other ones are not. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack open the player session record, and I am going to chuck a couple of fields in here. Let's use form builder because I haven't used that from Studio before. You're in the game with Shaquille. Good luck, guys. I was thinking another cool feature that might be is like a sidebar chat, because we have ServiceNow. ServiceNow has chat. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just chat with your opponent? So I'd like, let's chuck that on the Trello. Sidebar chat for players. Alright, so progress, cool, so we know what we're working on. Gameplay fix. Alright, fixing inverted scores. Alright, so in my player session I want to add some fields, and I want integer is fine. Add a field in the table. Oh, location 1 score integer. Okay. Add another one. Location 2 score. Another one. Location 3 score. Integer. Add. Done. Okay, and we'll just go 1, interesting. 1 and 3. I might have to edit that. I think that might be wrong. 2 score. Did I call it? Did I give it the right name? Oh no, I didn't. Is this the location 2 score? Yeah, there we go. It's just mislabeled. Whew. Location 1, 2, 3. Okay. Add that into the location scores. Okay, and now I can, in this, I can remap those scores. So I now want, in fact, I want the session records. Get player session, get opponent session. Let's start with opponent session. So we're going to edit the return fields. And we're going to add score 1, 2, 3, apply. And we want the player session as well. And we want to add 1, 2, 3, apply, and save. And we want to edit some flows here as well. So I'm going to go into flows. Here's operations. So I want playbooks. No, not playbooks, I want home. Okay, so I can see Jerry and Shaquille there. So yeah, so Shaquille, from a gameplay perspective, what you want to do is you want to look at your energy down here. You want to select a card that matches your energy. So cost is equal to or less than energy. So this is a 5. I only have 4 energy. I can't play it. But if I looked at the Duke, it's a cost 2, and I have energy 4, which means I can play it. And I get these buttons, and I can select which location I want to play it to, and it will put it there for me. And then once I'm happy, I can hit this end turn button up the top. Once I hit end turn, the 2 sessions start talking to each other, and it will progress to the next turn. So now I'm on turn 5, I have 5 energy, I can select a different card, play it to a different location, and use up all of my, you can see there it takes points away, like it takes energy away as I play cards. So until I've played all the cards that I can play with all the costs that I have, and then I can hit end turn again, and it will wait. So Jerry, you're saying that when you play a card, it doesn't automatically pop up into the location slots? That should happen. Like, it should happen automatically. Yeah. Hopefully that's not busted for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna debug these flows. So what do I want? I want the whatever subflow calculates the location score. That's where I wanna jump on that. So it's probably a subflow. I can't remember, so I'm gonna be trying to figure it out myself. And we want SN app on card activities. We don't want card actions because that's not what we're working on. We don't want deck. We want play sub. It's a subflow for adding integers, calculate location scores and update location. Cool. Okay. At this point, we need... looks like there was a busted one there. Okay. Let's see. There'll be some logic around selecting the right player that I'll need to work through here. Okay, so what do we got? We select the inputs. Location is location. Cool. Oh, we do know the players, so that's easy. Okay, it's not that hard. Okay, look up game slot location where location player 1 related card is not into. Player 1 score. Okay, this is probably not that hard actually. So I just need to. I don't want to delete. Gosh. I've been deleting random things today. Okay, so I want to look up record. I want to get the player 1 record, so get the player 1 session. I'll look up sessions, player sessions. Cool. sysid is equal to, what have I got in my inputs? Location dot game instance dot player1. Easy. Cool. And then we will duplicate that, and we'll get player2 to the session. And we want sysid is, edit that, game instance player2. Theoretically quite easy, right? And then we go, I guess we go, yeah, we embed in here, we go action update, because we have the integers, update record, and we want to go grab the lookup 14, player1 session, update action score, done, and we want to set the, how do we know which location it is? How do we know which location you are? Oh, you've won a game. Okay. So we're seeing some dodgy cards. Okay. I'll have a look at that in a moment. You just keep playing, see if it fixes it for the next round. But we can have a look at that as a debugging thing. Let me do my shoelace up. Okay. How do I know which player, which location is which? I'm going to try something. I'm going to try a choice variable. Inline scripts. Did I do inline scripts? It doesn't sound like something I would do. Sorry, it's saying that if I add variables, then the upstream there are add integer to other integers. There are things that may use it. No, it's downstream. It's talking about downstream actions. Action 5 if. Okay. Forget that. Forget that. I think we're okay. So we are doing something to determine, look up the location slot where instance is instant and player is in player 1 and related card instance. What are we doing here? Look up game location slot. Location instance is location. Player is player 1. Related card instance is not empty. I think it's still doing it based on location. It's still doing it based on location slots. Here's a question. Does a I see a question in chat. Is there a way to go back from we have a winner page, or should I need to click back arrow again? Oh, it's a good question. I haven't actually tested that. I think just for now, click back. I'll put that as something to test. Validate whether win state goes, and we go back to the deck selector. Okay, that's probably an important one for gameplay. Pop that up. Okay, so back to my subflow thing. Look up game location slots where location instances and player is blah. Maybe I need to have a closer look at these records. So I have a player. I want to get out of here. I want to go into player instance. Game instance. Locations. So these do know what locations they are. And then in each location, we have a player 1 score and a player 2 score. Am I making this more difficult than it needs to be? Let me refresh this guy. Reload. I don't want to save my changes. I really just want to transcribe that. I just want to go player 1, player 1, player 2, player 2. So I just want to go from our location record, I just want to transcribe whatever the final score is. It shouldn't be that hard, right? So update game location instance record. That is literally the game location record. So that's this location record there. Player 1 slot, and I know the player from the game instance. So really, all I should be doing is I should be going, right, we've updated the record, the player 1 score and the player 2 score, so all we're doing is action I just need to know what type of location it is. The game instance knows what type of location it is. So, alright, so I look up record, game instance, and I want to grab the game instance that's associated with the location record, game instance. No, in fact I want to go further. I want to grab the location record because we're in context of the location record. Actually, no, okay. I'm gonna jump out of this altogether. I'm gonna find whatever's upstream of it. That's what I'm gonna do. So can I find related flows? Play sub end turn. So let's go to play sub end turn. Let's go to the end turn thing, right? And we'll go, right, locations have all been scored. Location scores are all there. Now we're gonna go location 1. So player session. Player session location 1 equals location 1 score. And I think I can dot walk to it. I think it's easier. Update game location slot record. Is that the thing I just did? Update game location slot record. Let's look through it. Calculate location scores for location 1, calculate location scores for location 2, calculate location scores for location 3. If current turn is greater than max turns, end game. Okay, so it needs to go in here. So effectively, I want to be able to go I'll do it this way. So I'll get look up record, and I'll get the location record. Game location instance. And I'll get the one. Location 1. Done. And then update record, and we go input game instance player 1 with location 1. Yeah, I think this is it. Actually, in fact, move these all the way down here. And I'm going to go look up location 1. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to go look up location 2. I'm going to look up location 3. I'm going to edit that guy. I'm going to go sysid is not location 1. I'm going to go location 2. Done. And then I'm going to go not location 1. I'm going to go location 3. Done. Done. And then I'm going to go update record. I'm going to go, I need player session. Player session. Player session. Player session, and I need game instance, and I want player 1 location, player 1 session, player 1 session, done. And the update I want to make is I want to go, alright, okay, so here we are, we've done it. So location 1 score, location 2 score, location 3 score. And we want to go, you are getting set to location 1 instance player 1 score. You are getting set to location 2 game instance player 2 score. You are getting set to location instance player 1 score. Actually, I need to correct that. It needs to be player 1 score. Player 1 score. Okay, so that's setting player 1's scores. I'll duplicate that. I want to set player 2 scores. Edit player 2 scores. I need to get the right session, so it needs to be instance 2. I want that to be player 2. I want that to be player 2. I want that to be player 2. Done. Publish. Okay, so now we have all the scores right. So theoretically, that should execute and it should update the new score fields that we've got. So that's good. Jerry, I might get you to test something for me in a sec, so we can start a new game if you haven't already got one. I'm just going to jump right back to the deck selector for Ron. I might close Harry because I'll just leave Harry open just in case I need a Harry later on. And I'm going to start a game with Ron. So I'm waiting for a second player now. Jerry, if you wanted to start a game, then hopefully that one will connect, will matchmake. And the last thing I want to do is I just want to fix these mappings. So I have opponent score, get location 1, let's remap that to get opponent session. Oh, where is he? What's it called? Get opponent session, that's what it's called. So I want get. Let's get opponent session. Let's try that again. Get opponent session, that's what we want. Okay, and we want, because we don't have results. Because we don't have a proper opponent. Let me try and get a game instance. Open record. So I think I do actually have to fix this. So I'm going to grab sysid, play space, game instance. And I do need the player session. That's the problem. Why does it fall over? Stupid thing. Okay, do we have an opponent session? Get opponent session. No, we don't. Let's try that again. Let's grab the session sysid. Starting. Let's see if the data fixes itself at least, right? So what we're doing here is I've got it so that the theoretically a location when it's scored should have a little flow that will then go and write back to the player session so that the player's score for that location 1, location 2, location 3 is updated. So let's see if that works, right? So let's play some cards. Have we got anything? I've got a one cost thing that I can play to location, so I'm going to play that to location 1. If you've got anything you can play, feel free to play it. I'm going to end that turn. Okay, so you've played 2 things. Let's see if that data has gone in properly. So let's go over here. Let's find some sessions. I want to go game instance. Let's find the game that we've just started. Thanks for playtesting for me, Jerry, and thanks to Shital as well. Shaquille, who joined earlier. Shaquille. Show list. What have we got? It'll be this one. Alright, and theoretically, we have a score for Ron, which matches is 2, is that right? Come on. Ron is 2 because they're inverted, that's the thing we're trying to fix, so that's good. And then the other player was Jerry, let's find Jerry. Pack, game instance. And Jerry's score. Jerry didn't get a score. Okay, so there's a problem with the flow designer there. Whatever the flow designer was doing. Where's flow designer gone? Let's go to flow designer. So we're close. We got one of the scores. We just didn't get both. So I want operations. I want flow operations. All executions, and I'm interested in the end. So we've got location, so there's a lot of flows that run. We want end turn, that's what we want. So that should have worked. Location 1 score 7, location 1 score, location 2 score, location 3 score. Was I looking at the wrong session? No, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's worked. So we've got the score. The scores are correct. I'll jump back up one. And I'll look at Ron. And I'll open his score 2. Okay, so scores are correct. That's good. We just need to get it into the UI. And I have a problem with the UI because the UI is not showing me the actual full data path. Like it's not showing me the data from the opponent session, so it means it's not doing the lookup properly, which means that there's something funky going on with my properties here. Do I have client state parameters? Oh, okay. Okay. Session ID, initial value. That should be empty. Props, player session. That should be empty, I think, because I want it to be derived from data lookups. I think maybe that's some testing data. Let me try that. Is this going to give me the opponent session? Otherwise, I'll hard code it to get the data, to do the mapping, and hopefully... Ah! That looks better. It hasn't grabbed the opponent session properly though. Oh no, it's grabbed an opponent session. Okay, cool. Alright, good. Okay, so that was it. I just had a hard-coded client state parameter in there, so that's good. Cool. Okay, so I can change the score mappings then. So I want to change this to get opponent, is that the one? Data resource. Let's clear these out altogether. Resource, page property, data resource, get opponent session. I think we're in luck, and we want location 1 score because this is location 1. Apply. Okay, and we want location 2 L2 opponent score, and we want to remap that guy as well. We want him to get opponent location 2 score. And that replaces it, and we apply, and then we want location 3 opponent score, and we want to remap that. We want to get opponent result location 3 score. So this is one of the problems I have with this build, the way I've built this, is that everything is kind of like hard-coded. Location 1 opponent player 1, location 1 player 2, location, like all the slots, everything is repeated. So I have the same structure, identical structures for location 1, 2, and 3 recurring throughout the game. So ideally it would be really cool if that could just be one object that just I set up once and it's contextual and it knows what location it's talking about and grabs all the right records from the location and just is like a three object repeater or something like that with all of those components within it, and they're all contextual. I'm sure that's possible, but I didn't build it that way. So it makes it really tricky. It was harder when I had like L1, L2, L2, like, but I guess everything's opponent now, and it would be cool to be able to do that a little bit better. Alright, so the next thing I need to do is I need to remap loop player, so I need to get player session. Is that player session? Hard to say. Let's go get player session. Yes, it is. Result, location 1 score. I think that's where we were. Apply. Interesting, it seems nulled out. That's okay. I think it's because those values for this test record are nulled out as well, so I think we're okay. I want get player session, result, location 2 score, apply. And I want L3 play. Oh, okay, so that needs to be relabeled as well. Player score, because it's actually the player score that we're looking at. I will have to dip very shortly, Jerry. Thank you so much for hanging around. It is my mum's birthday, so we are going to lunch with her today. Apply. But I'd like to test this one just before we move on. Okay, so I guess, Jerry, we still have an active game, right? Like between Ron and Jerry here, and we've managed to get scores. So at the moment, like, this is the inverted scores, so my 2 to your 7. If I refresh this screen, does it swap the scores around? No, it stuffs the scores completely. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, so scores are broken. What have I done? Level 1 opponent score. Value. Let's do that. Level 2 player score. Value. Apply. Level 2 opponent score. There's a trick of UI Builder is that the display value, or the like, if you just select the object, it's an object that you're returning. It's not the value or the display value, so it doesn't guess. It doesn't infer that that's what you want all the time. So it can get that stuff wrong. So you've got to be really careful about how deep into the structure that you go. I always forget that. And it's a bit tricky because we're not using like live values, real values here as well, so it's not finding the right stuff. Alright, I'm going to try and refresh again. Back to this one, Jerry and Ron. Refresh the game. Success! Alright, let's do a couple of other locations just really quick, just so that we can prove that we're getting proper scores there as well. I've got nothing I can play. Oh no, there we go. Let's play something to the Witch Doctor slot. I'm going to end my turn. Jerry, if you wouldn't mind ending your turn. There we go. Alright, so you've added another one to location 1. Scores are in the correct spots. Fantastic. I'm going to add something to location 3. I'm going to end that turn. So the way winning is calculated is how many locations you win. So out of, it's best of 3, I guess. Like 2 out of 3 will win you the game. I don't know what happens if you... I'm not sure what happens if you both win a location each and nobody wins the 3rd location. It's a good question. So, okay, so Jerry's winning location 1. It's a tie on location 2, and I'm winning location 3. I'm going to go location 1 again with Iron Chuck. Oh, location 2, I guess. I don't have an undo button as well, that's annoying. Do I have anything else? No, I've got all, that's all my stuff. I'm going to finish that turn. Isn't it cool? I can see Jerry's playing, I'm playing, we got the game going. That's cool. And I'm going to play something to location 2 again. So, end turn. There we go. Turn 6, final turn, so I got 14 here, 9, 6. All right, so Jerry's going to win this, I think. I'm gonna pump something again into location 2. I'm going to end the turn. We should have a winning state now. And Jerry's won. Excellent. I think I see what you mean, Jerry, about the broken images, right? Like I'm seeing broken images in location 2 there for you. Well done, Jerry. So I'm seeing, yeah, I wonder if the broken images are I wonder what's causing that. But yeah, okay, scores are fixed. Gameplay is winnable. I think actually just one more thing I will... Yeah, you're still getting broken images. I'll pop that into Trello as well, because maybe I'll fix that at some point. Trello, fix inverted scores. Done. We did something. Broken images, opponent, location 2. Are you seeing those broken images? Okay. Are you seeing them for me in my location 2 slots? It might just be a me problem then. I can run that one to ground. Okay, so, alright, so like one final thing that I want to do, and we saw it when Shaquille joined us, is the landing page. So basically I don't like the landing page anymore. I want you to go straight to UI Builder, to the deck builder interface, deck selector interface. So how do I do that? I think there's a system property, sys properties.list. It's like it's probably something that was updated fairly recently, because I've been messing with this stuff. This default homepage on login. Okay, and I think what I want, so if I jump back to my boys over here, and I take that out, so it's inserting that. What I want it to do is I want it to do, oh, that's not what I want. Why'd you do that? It's not at all the right page that I want. So I'm just going to try this, see if it works. If it doesn't, I'm going to give up for today, and it'll be the first thing that we fix next time. It's got to be global scope, open record. Okay, so all images are working for you. It's just a me problem. Okay. Click here to edit this record. Let's just try that. Save. So if I jump back to, say, Harry here, and I visit the instance for the first time, log in, theoretically, and it takes me to the decks to edit. Okay, cool. So now we skip that portal altogether now, by the look of things. Is it working? Oh, Unified Navigator. Not happy about that. Not happy about that. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. let's ignore cache on the system property. That's dumb. I didn't mean to do that. Take that off. Save. Cool, Jerry. Yeah, I'm going to finish up now as well. So we've done something. We've fixed some scoring. We've got gameplay running. Yeah, so we've achieved some things today, and we've played the game for the first time with real players in the wild. So that's excellent. Thank you so much for your help. That's really exciting to me. So I'm quite happy about that. But yeah, have a great day. I might sort of bring the stream to an end now. And head off. Yeah, that's right. Say happy birthday to my mum for you. Will do. And thanks again for dropping by. All right, I'll see you all next time.